Hi, this is Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So this video is part of a hop called Pick Your Passion 3. I participated in another one a number of weeks ago, last month, and I'll leave a link to that. So I'm really combining two passions here. One is using up all those little tiny scraps of paper that I just can't bring myself to throw away, so finding a way to use those. And the second passion in here is for small art, for making ATCs, artist trading cards. So this project was a way to combine both of those. And I think this is quite a good way to use up all your scraps to make a kind of base card from which you can then make ATCs, or it could be used then to just as a background for a mixed media piece. So all I'm literally doing is going through this basket of small pieces. Some of them you'll see I do tear them slightly smaller, or if they've got a white edge on them I tear that, because I'm really trying to cover up all the white paper. And the white paper that I'm actually using as a base is simply a piece of cardstock. It's not terribly thick cardstock, but by the time I get all the collage on, it will feel much thicker. So I do like collage, and I use it in a number of different projects, and that's why I always end up with all these little bits and pieces. And as I say, I just can't bring myself to throw a lot of them away. That there that I'm sticking down was some sticky labels. I think I had used my gel plate to get some interest down onto sticky labels, but they've hung about in that box for a long time, so I thought I'm just going to start to use some of these. And you'll see that I overlap pieces, not concerned about that at all. It just adds more texture to the actual page. So I quickly showed another page at the start. That was one that I'd done, I don't know, a few weeks ago now. And I had actually just used a glue stick with that one. But I've decided for this one, I'm going to make sure that these pieces aren't going to lift. So I'm using a gel matte medium. So as I say, I've made this as part of a hop, and there will be a list of all the others participating in the hop. There'll be a list in the description box below. So if you've watched this video, go down to the description box and just click the next name that's there, and you can work your way through everyone in the hop that's participated. And it's interesting to see what people come up with as their passion. And one of the good things about these videos is that most of them are fairly short. I think most will all be under 15 minutes maximum. So it's quite doable to get round them all. So the hop's been organised by Peg Robinson, so many thanks to Peg for doing this once again. And everyone participating in the hop, obviously if you're not subscribed to them, they would certainly appreciate if you could subscribe, and would certainly appreciate if you could hit the like button. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words a bit. So you see I'm just really covering every small piece there. Sometimes I'll just make some of the scraps just a little bit smaller just to cover small pieces. So just getting that all down. And this really doesn't take too long, and it's quite a fun thing to do. You don't need to give it a lot of thought. It's just one of those things you can sit and do. You could sit in front of the TV doing this, because I'm not looking at what goes where, if colours go together. I am literally just sticking these down, all these little pieces. Doesn't matter if they clash in terms of colour, that just doesn't bother me. And as I say, it's quite a fun way just to do something. So just about at the end of this, that's an old bit of map that I'm putting down there. And what I'll do is I will dry that off. Now I spotted a tiny bit of white there, and just putting another bit in. You'll see that I did let it hang over the edges in places, but I'll cut that back in a second. So I used my heat tool here to dry it just for speed. So there I am, just going to cut off the odd bits. There was glue on my mat there, so I just turned it over. So just going to cut off all those little edges, because what I want to do next is to measure it out and cut it into ATC size. Now ATCs are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to measure that out. So just 2.5 all the way along. Sometimes it takes me a second or two because I've got to work it out. And then all I'm going to do is use my rotary cutter and my ruler as an edge, and I'm just going to cut them. I think my blade on that's getting a little bit blunt, but I think I've got a spare one that will need to look out. I was actually pushing it down quite hard there, but it's still quite a good way to cut. And you'll see that I have a little scrap left over at the end, and that will go back into a scrap box. What I'll now do is measure 3.5, so I'll get 2 out of each of these strips, and then again I'll just have a little bit excess at the end. Okay, so I'll do the rest off camera. So those little bits I've got left, as I say, they could make tags or anything, go into a journal or just back into the scrap box. So quite a mix of backgrounds. These could now be painted. I could have put some white paint on to tone them down a bit, but I'm just going to turn them into ATCs. I like that colour on the back, and I'm just going through these Tim Holtz paper dolls and just going to pick one out for each. The paper dolls come in all different sizes. I think they come roughly in 3 different sizes. I think you get each character 3 times. So I'm just going to pick out a few that I think would go well on these cards. The packet of these, you really do get quite a lot in a packet, and yeah, this was also a way of using up some of my supplies. So I've picked out a main character for each, and I think I maybe changed them a little bit again, but the next step will be to actually then sit and glue these on. So I'm just going to do one, just show you me doing the one. Decide to turn that one up the other way. That's the thing about these cards, there's no right way up or down, or it could be turned sideways if needs be. So again, just using the gel matte medium to put these into place, and I do then get an old rag and just go over the top of them and push them right down. So decided I want to just bring them out a little bit, so just using my Stabilo All black pencil, and then I'll just take some water on a brush to blend that out. Now, because there's all different types of paper, the Stabilo All and the water react slightly differently with some papers. But it's okay, it's just about giving a little bit of added definition. So I do that with all of them. Then I look out these Tim Holtz Chit Chat stickers and put one on each of them. I'm now just going to take my pen, I just go around the edges of the word that I've picked and a very sketchy border right round the card. Now I've decided that I'm going to give away 3 of these cards, so if you would like the chance to have your name put in a draw for 1 card, then just leave a comment below and say something like enter draw, and I will do the draw 1 week after this video's up, and I will put a comment in the comments box to say who has won the card. As I say, I'll give 3 away, so I will draw 3 names out. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Do please check out all the other artists participating. So thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.